Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Trent. This is Rams Talk. Thanks for watching Rams versus Cowboys game preview, playoff preview, volume 2. Bear with me. I'm losing my voice, getting sick. I wish I could say I've been pre-partying so much, but no, I'm just getting sick and losing my voice. So hang in there. I got some good stuff coming. Shout out to E2 Blue, a Cowboy YouTuber who he and I did a collab last night on his channel. Talked some Rams, Cowboys. Great to get some good Cowboys insight and really get to know their team. Shout out to everyone who's just subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate you guys jumping on board. Thank you so much for joining the community. For all the legacy subscribers out there, you guys have always been awesome. Keep bringing it. Keep commenting. Really appreciate everything. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Got some good stuff going on. Playoffs, as long as the Rams are in the playoffs. So obviously for the next couple of weeks. And also, I really appreciate the civility on the last Cowboys-Rams game preview comment thread between Rams and Cowboys fans. Yes, Cowboy fans are totally delusional, but they've been cool. They've been nice. They haven't been rude. So really appreciate that from both sides. And to be honest, I'm surprised with the Cowboy fans because, reputation. But now that I'm there and I see it, they've been very cool. So really appreciate that. Also, once again, appreciate my niece Leighton for watching. Leighton, by the way better than Leighton Vander Esch. I mean, Leighton Meester's better than Leighton Vander Esch. So Leighton Walker, way to go. Thank you so much. We got the game coming up here tomorrow. So this is Friday afternoon. Tomorrow, January 12th. Now, January 12th for Rams fans is a very, very significant day in Rams history. It was on January 12th, 1946, that the Rams won the vote to move from Cleveland to Los Angeles, where they stayed till 1994. Then, on January 12th, 2016, the Rams won the vote to move from St. Louis to Los Angeles. Then, on January 12th, 2017, the Rams named Sean McVay their head coach. And then tomorrow, January 12th, the Rams host the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional playoff game. Now, there's been a lot of talk about, the Cowboy fans, it's going to be a home game for the Cowboy fans. Well, every opposing fan base says, we're playing in LA, that's a home game for us. Now, if that's true, if that is accurate, then the Rams, I guess, are 13-3 on the road this year. So that's pretty good. And that came from a subscriber who brought that up. That was a very good point. But also one of the Rams beat writers, or a writer for The Athletic, Vinny Bonsignor, he polled, after hearing all this, he polled all of the Rams beat writers to kind of say, like, hey, guys, what has been your take on the vibe for all these games? The Philly game, the Green Bay game, Minnesota game with the opposing fans. And the consensus was that it was never over 30-40% for the other fans. So, the Coliseum is huge. It holds 90,000 people. So, you could still get 30,000 fans from another team, and it's massive, but you still have 60,000 fans of the Rams. So, let's just not lose sight of that's how it is. Now, for the Cowboys, I think it'll be a little bit different. I think their fan base is bigger than those others. So, it'll be very interesting to see. But I do still see the Rams even no worse than 50-50 on that. So, tomorrow, I just checked the weather. It's going to should be around 59 degrees at kickoff. It's going to rain tonight, Friday night, going into tomorrow morning, early a.m. So, I'm sure the grounds crew will have that field ready to go, maybe a little slick here and there, but no rain and not too cold. So both teams will be dealing with that. So that's pretty good, and especially for everyone in attendance. Now, a couple injury news and notes. Todd Gurley practiced in full yesterday. That's great. Sean McVay said, and I quote, he looked like Todd. So I'm guessing same old Todd. And then he added that he's been explosive, which is good news because I've been very, concerned about his progression from the knee injury. It's been basically a month, 4 weeks since he played in the last game against Philly, and the fact that he's just now getting on the practice field, I don't know. I mean, they really haven't shared what exactly is wrong with his knee. It's been under wraps. So, even if he's like 90%, that'll be great because they've got C.J. Anderson. I'll get into that in a minute. Beasley didn't practice yesterday, and neither did Jarwin for Dallas. Those guys are going to be game-time decisions. I expect one or both of them to play, but they won't be tip-top. That's actually pretty big for an offense that really only has two big playmakers. Losing Beasley or not having him at full strength would really hurt, I think, Dallas's offense, and Jarwin as well. So something to look towards and see if those guys end up suiting up, and if they do, how effective they'll be. Now, I'm just going to say my key to this game is the Rams jumping out to an early lead. Granted, easier said than done, and Cowboys fans, before you start saying, oh, the defense, I'm just saying if the Rams jump out to an early lead, it will bode very well for them in the game. Dallas is not a play from behind. They don't have the big play, explosive offense to get back in the game. They will abandon the run. So, I mean, that's how you stop Zeke, is if you jump out to an early lead, a big lead, a 10-point lead, and you make Dallas go away from their bread and butter, which is the run game. So that is my key to victory. Now, also going to the Cowboys defense. The Cowboys defense is good. It's really good. I'm not taking anything away from the Cowboys defense, but honestly, it's like with Cowboys fans, it's getting like mythical at this point. It's like, it started out like 2 weeks ago, like our defense is really good. We held the Saints, We're ranked this and that, and different defensive metrics. Awesome. You guys definitely have studs on your team with Tank Lawrence and Van Der Esch and Byron Jones and Jalen Smith and Randy Gregory, so on and so forth, right? But now it's like getting to the point like we're second behind the Bears in everything. Our guys are 10 feet tall. Our guys eat nuclear missiles for breakfast. It's like, whoa, let's just pump the brakes here. You guys have a really good defense. You're not the Bears. You're not the Bears. Okay, those guys have like 20 Pro Bowlers on defense. Not taking anything away, but just let's just calm it down. Take a breath. Calm it down. Okay, see, I was just getting worked up right there too, but I don't want to do that before lunch. So that being said, I really want to talk about Dak Prescott. And for Rams fans, we don't watch maybe some of us do watch Cowboy games all the time, but Dak Prescott, one thing that really stands out to me about him is his mobility. And he leads all quarterbacks, regular season and playoffs combined, since 2016 with 19 rushing touchdowns, more than Russell Wilson. In fact, on the year, he had 6 rushing touchdowns. Russell Wilson had none. And Wilson had more yards, that's 70 more rushing yards. But Dak really uses his feet. Sometimes it looks like a designed run, like that scramble against Seattle was a big-time play. So I kind of feel he's got a little bit of that Russell Wilson magic where maybe the play breaks down or you just see the coverage is really good and there's a big gap between the line or the pocket and the nearest defender, like 10 yards, and he'll take off and run. So you really have to guard on Dak Prescott with that. But also, that being said, the flip side of Dak is that he's been sacked 56 times this season. That's second most in the NFL. And 44 of those 56 times were on non-blitz plays. And that's the most in football. Whereas Goff, in the last 2 years combined, he's been sacked 58 times. So 2 more times for Goff in 2 years combined than Dak Prescott this year. So getting pressure on Dak seems to work. And speaking about getting pressure on Dak, the Rams as a team rank first in pressure from the interior and sacks from the interior, whereas the Cowboys rank 24th against pressure guarding or blocking pressure from the interior and 29th in allowing sacks from the interior. And guess who's on the interior of our defense? Yeah, that's right. AD, number 99, the best defensive player in football. 20.5 sacks from an interior lineman, NFL record, Rams franchise record in sacks. Crazy stat, Rams are 16-0 when Aaron Donald gets a sack. Or maybe that's more because that's an older stat from before the Niners and the Cardinals game. But they're basically undefeated when Aaron Donald gets a sack. So if he gets a sack, like I said, if he gets a sack on the first drive of the game, I guess we can all go home. Game is over. Rams win. Right? That'd be great. But Dak gets sacked a lot. We have the NFL leader in sack. The Cowboys are more susceptible to pressure up the middle. The Rams' pressure comes from the middle. Put 2 and 2 together, and there you go. Because everyone's focused on how do you stop Zeke. I'm here to tell you the Rams really aren't going to stop Zeke with their linebackers or their scheme. They're going to stop Zeke by getting out to an early lead. I realize that we can't stop Zeke with our personnel. Cowboy fans, you need to realize that Aaron Donald's going to wreck shop. Unless you do what the Bears or the Eagles did, which is always double team and even put Zeke in there or someone in there to chip a third blocker. He didn't have a sack against the Bears, and you look at it, and every time he's getting double and triple teamed every time. That's how you do that. Okay? Little tip. But going back to Dak Prescott, everyone's saying Dak Prescott is our guy. Fourth quarter comebacks. You know, he won that game against Seattle. He didn't win that game against Seattle. Zeke won that game against Seattle. Right? Dak Prescott, guess what his QBR was for that game against Seattle? 14. You know what Josh Rosen's QBR was on the whole year, and he was the worst QB in football? 26. Okay? Dak Prescott threw for 168 yards with 4.9 yards per throw against the Seahawks. It's not going to get it done. And also, the amazing Cowboys defense gave up, 20-something points to the Seahawks? 22 points? Something like that? What do you think the Rams are going to do? The Seahawks have Brian Schottenheimer as their offensive coordinator. Todd Gurley's better than Chris Carson. Brandon Cooks, come on, guys. Let's just be real here, all right? Also, Dak, in terms of completion percentage of over 20 yards, he's at 36%. Jared Goff's at 47%. I also hear this thing from Cowboys fans that the Cowboys are hungry. They're hungry. They're hungry. First of all, like all teams in the playoffs are hungry. The Rams came off a playoff loss last year. They're hungry. Okay? Not the only hungry team. And that's like this weird kind of can't prove it, intangible thing that people like to say they're hungry. Cool. Rams are hungry too. I'm hungry. It's almost lunch. Okay? So there's that. Now also know that what we have going against Dak Prescott is the return of Aqib Talib this season from his injury. Now, in 8 games this year where Aqib Talib has played, the Rams' defense has allowed the third best passer rating. I'm sorry, for their defense, it's the third best, not for the offense. The yards per reception is 7th best amongst defenses, and their 8 touchdown to 12 interception ratio is the best in the NFL over the last 8 games. So really the impact Talib has had since the beginning of the year when he was healthy, and then the last 5 games or so that he's been healthy has been real. And he and Peters will probably both cover Amari Cooper at times. Now they're both very familiar with Amari Cooper from their days when Amari was on Oakland and they were on Denver and Kansas City. Also remember, the Rams faced Amari Cooper in the first game of this year when the Rams play Oakland. And I think he had 1 catch for 9 yards. And that was when both of our guys were healthy. I mean, granted, different situations and all, but I feel like he's reinvigorated, Amari Cooper is. But they're all familiar with each other. Cooper's gotten his against Marcus Peters a little bit with, doing the double move. But I feel like, and if they even want to line him up in the slot, I mean, we got Roby Coleman, so that's not easy there. So I think it's like we really have a good matchup against Cooper. On the flip side, though, Byron Jones is real. And I think he could really neutralize Brandon Cooks. So this is going to be where Woods and Reynolds and Everett have to really step up in the passing game. And even with the Rams offense with Gurley there and Gurley back, I wouldn't be surprised if they have Gurley and CJ Anderson on the field at the same time. Maybe Gurley in the slot going to jet sweep motion. You have CJ back there. Defenses have to account for, are we guarding against CJ getting the handoff, Gurley getting the handoff going around the end, or a play action fake where Goff can find someone open. So no one's seen that before, so you can't really game plan for that. So that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. Remember, CJ Anderson's had 300 yards in the last 2 games, so he's no joke. And speaking about play action, so play action has been the Rams' bread and butter this whole year. 11 personnel and being in play action. Now, while they're so good at play action, Dallas has not been so good at play action. So if the Rams can also really execute their play action, and Gurley can start getting some chunk runs and really get that play action moving, I think that's going to be key, because the Cowboys have allowed 112.6 passer rating on play action, which is 26th in the NFL. Last week, Russell Wilson was 9 for 10 with 111 yards on play action. So it works against the Cowboys, and hopefully it does, because Marinelli and Richard, they coach their players to be aggressive and just attack the ball. So that's why their defense is good against the run, because they just all go aggressively towards the ball. But it also hurts them on play action. And also their defenders, like their linebackers, are great when they're not blocked in pursuit to a ball. But if our offensive line can get past their defensive line and get to that next level and put a block on Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith, the Rams will be in good shape with that. But also the Rams run play action 34% of the time, most in the NFL, and Goff has 112 passer rating on play action. So it's like his passer rating aligns with the passer rating that Dallas gives up almost perfectly on play action. So I expect to see more of that. I mean, that seems to be kind of sad of the game of that. And a key matchup will be Rob Havenstein against DeMarcus Lawrence, our right tackle against their best pass rusher. That's going to be an interesting matchup to watch on the defensive side of the ball. Keep your eyes on our right tackle. That's going to be key. Now, one other thing that usually doesn't get discussed in this game, and if you go back to last year's matchup where the Rams pulled it out against the Cowboys in Dallas, is Greg the Leg. Greg the Leg had 7 field goals last year against the Cowboys, and I think the feeling amongst Rams fans is pretty much whenever Legatron goes out there to line up a kick, you feel pretty good about it, right? I always feel very confident that Greg Zuerlein's going to make all of his kicks. I don't think the Cowboys can say that about Mar, whatever his last name is. He's not bad. Definitely he's not like Cody Parkey. But I just think when it comes down to that part of the game, the Rams have an advantage with their kicker. I think their special teams are great too. It's also going to be interesting to see what Tavon Austin does as a return man for Dallas. Wouldn't be surprised if they've got something special the Cowboys do to kind of pay back the Rams for Tavon. But I could just see how ironic would it be that Tavon has a big play against the Rams. I mean, come on. So anyways, those are my keys to the game. The Rams get out ahead. That will stop Zeke, really, more than their personnel will stop Zeke. And get those blocks on those linebackers, execute play action, see if Gurley's healthy, and really give Goff a clean pocket, and also Aaron Donald, do your thing, Aaron Donald. So yeah, those are my keys to the game. Should be fun. Cowboys, let me know what you think. Rams fans, let me know what you think. Rams fans represented the game tomorrow. Wish I could be there, but yeah. Anyways, thank you everyone so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Right over there. Feel free to watch my previous video. I think I have some other points, Dallas Rams points over there. And yeah, let's keep it civil. Let's all be cool, and can't wait for this game tomorrow at 5:15 Pacific time. So anyways, thanks for watching, everyone, and go Rams.